Hey, what's good, Miami Beach? I'm Jerry Libbin, President and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. This program is designed to bring good information, good news about what's going on in and about our city for residents and tourists alike. What a novel idea to only present good news. Today, the good news is I'm presenting to you George Neary. George, co-chair of the Miami Beach Chamber's Sister Cities program. He was the executive director of the Miami Design Preservation League, and 7 years later, he accepted the position of Associate Vice President of Cultural Tourism at the Greater Miami Convention and Visitor Bureau, where he received his Employee of the Year. And he won that after working there for 20 years until his recent retirement. He was the founding member of the Mayor's LGBTQ Plus Committee and the Miami Beach Gay Pride Festival and Parade Committee. He was the recipient of the Miami-Dade Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce President's Award. And I could go on, but George, I'd rather you tell us some of the other accolades, because there's so many, I couldn't possibly remember them all.
Well, I'm very fortunate to have made Miami Beach, to made this choice so many years ago. And I've worked very hard with preservation and working in the Art Deco District, which is now the world-famous National Register Historic Art Deco District. So I've been involved in preservation, and then from there, of course, as Jerry said, I worked in tourism and travel and tourism for 20 years, and just was able to do so many wonderful and exciting things. As he's mentioned, we wanted to make Miami Beach a stronger city, including the LGBTQ community. And so many years ago, I served on the committee to bring some focus to that area. And we started the Miami Beach Gay Pride, which now is more than 10 plus years and brings in 150,000 people for Gay Pride weekend. This year, it's going to be in September because of the pandemic, but it'll be a wonderful opportunity for the entire community to come together. There are just so many things that are available in Miami Beach. Again, because of my cultural tourism background, I was so fortunate to work in lots of areas, dance, theater, music. We are so blessed in Miami Beach to have some signature organizations here, like Miami Beach I can't even think of it.
Dance Now?
Yeah, Dance Now, which is our organization here that we're going to be talking about. But we have so many other, the New World Symphony. We have, the Jackie Gleason Theater, which has lots of innovative programming. The Band Shell in North Beach. The list goes on. And I've been so fortunate, as Jerry, in working with all of these groups to highlight the arts and the culture in Miami Beach. But we've been working together on one particular area that, Jerry, do you want to say a few words about that?
Well, we were really blessed that the City Commission asked the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce to manage their Sister Cities program about a year and a half ago. And George agreed to become co-chair of that committee for the Chamber and for the community, along with Monty Cohn. We created our first new Sister City relationship in Cascais, Portugal, a little over a year ago. I guess it was December of 19. And during that trip, George started already thinking about the follow-on. Talk about what your thought process was and what is about to unfold.
Well, let me begin by saying my background is international work. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in the Caribbean way back in the early 70s. I also worked in student exchange with an organization called AFS, the American Field Service. So I've always been in international cultural programming. And so Mayor Bauer asked me many years ago if I would chair the Mayor's Committee on Sister Cities, and I was chair for about 8 years. We have about 11 sister cities, and if you pass by the Miami Beach City Hall, in the front of the City Hall is a mile marker with all of our sister cities and the mileage from Miami Beach to Basel, Switzerland, to Nahariya, Israel, to Fujisawa, Japan, to Ica, Peru, and so forth. So we have 11 sister cities, and it's been a very signature program of our community, because it started in 1959, and it started after World War II. And you have to understand that there were, all these countries had been just fighting with each other. So the sister cities originally something called People to People with President Eisenhower, decided to break tradition and get Japanese and Americans together, and Germans and Americans together, and Italians and Americans together, so that we can build peace for the future. And so that's kind of how it started. It was pretty revolutionary. We had just been fighting the Germans, and now we were welcoming students in our home. We've been just fighting the Japanese, and now we were welcoming them in our home, and so forth. So it was an opportunity to change places into people. And we started in Miami Beach, one of the first cities to join the Sister City International Program with Japan, and we've had sister cities since 1959. So it's been a long relationship. It's a close relationship.
It's a very strong relationship with Fujisawa.
Yeah, the chamber has always played, even when the city was administering it, a strong role in welcoming the Japanese from our sister city here, and Fujisawa, and it's right outside of Tokyo. And when they come, they don't come 2, 3, 4 people. They come
about
40.
18 or 20.
Yeah, well, no, about 40.
40.
And they come and really, we plan a real great program for them. There's so much to see directly in Miami Beach and beyond. And so it's an opportunity for us to really showcase the excitement, the wonderment that we have in Miami Beach. And they come here and stay in our hotels and walk on the beaches and just get a chance to experience the historic architecture. They tour our museums. They attend some of our concerts, the Miami City Ballet that's housed in Miami Beach. So we have an opportunity to really show what we have here. And what's really exciting is that it makes us feel better about our own town, because they're giving us feedback about how exciting it is to tour and to see what we have here every day.
And so the idea is exchanges. It's about not only us going to their country or their city, but them coming here, as you pointed out. And while we were in Portugal in 2019, you started fomenting an idea. It's now coming to fruition.
Exactly.
Talk about what's happening.
Well, I think it's important, it's nice to say you have a sister city somewhere, but if you're not building and working on the relationship, it's not really bearing any fruit. And so we had this wonderful trip with a lot of Miami Beach members, Miami Beach Chamber members, and my co-chair and her husband, Moni Cohen, and we just had a wonderful chance to see what they had to offer. And we met the mayor and the commissioners there, and proclamations and gifts, and it was really, really exciting. And then, but you just don't let it die there. So what you want to do is build the relationship. And we have an amazing contemporary dance troupe by Hannah Baumgartner and Diego Solieri, and they are the artistic directors of a group called Dance Now Miami, a contemporary dance organization. And so I thought, well, gee, it's a small enough group, it's easy enough for them to transfer some of their ballet and some of their work to another city. And Portugal just was so eager when we spoke about having something from their now new sister cities. And so the two entities have been working together to build a performance that now is going to happen, and it's going to be on the 24th of June during a festival in Cascais, our sister city. And the mayor and everyone is so excited to welcome us back and to really build on this relationship. And the theme is particularly interesting because, we have a very strong Jewish community here. We have a very strong museum, the Jewish Museum, who now, that museum is now building a relationship with the Jewish Museum in Portugal. And that was the impetus for this new performance about in the 1400s, when the Jews in the country was taken over by Catholics, and the Inquisition, as some of you may remember, was pretty serious, pretty drastic, and people had to change back to being, Catholic. And so there was a ruling that the Jews, rather than be pushed out of the country or murdered, could practice Catholicism and join the Catholic Church. But what happened is what was hidden was their practices in secret. And so the dance piece is a nod to Portugal, what they went through. They were so excited. So the dance troupe here in Miami Beach is going to be performing their section, and then via Zoom and phone calls and other kinds of things, they've in the dance company in Portugal has now added pieces to themselves. And so the two groups will be performing together at this conference. It'll be so exciting. The mayor's already in Cascais is attending, and so many other people are excited to see us build this relationship. And I want to thank Jerry and the Miami Beach Chamber, because they took this ball, so to speak, and ran with it. And I think it's going to benefit Miami Beach greatly. And lastly, that group is going to come to Miami Beach at some point in the future, and they're going to perform together here, perhaps at the Colony, Jackie Gleason, somewhere, where we can then invite our community to meet our latest sister city and really build on this international relationship.
So, George, you've mentioned about, Miami Beach Chamber members participating in the trip, but I want to clarify that anyone who wants to go on these trips, it's open to anybody. It's not a chamber member thing, and we offer different trips. In fact, not only to sister cities, but to others. We have a program we call Chamber on the Move. You've been on some of our trips.
Right, exactly.
And, we're actually looking at the potential of a trip to Vietnam latter part of next year.
Wonderful.
So, that's something that's out there. You are fortunate in that you combined many of your true loves and your past experience. Now, in your retirement, you started a business.
Right.
Tours R Us.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about that and some of the recent, now with COVID, coming to hopefully a little bit better resolution where people can get out and about. Talk a little bit about Tours R Us and what you're doing.
Well, what happened was when I retired, I figured that would be the end of it. I was just going to retire and sit at home. But everyone was so shocked when I said, A, I was retiring, and B, I didn't have a plan. I had to make a plan because people would not leave me alone by saying, well, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? So I realized for most of my life here in Miami Beach, when I ran the Preservation League and after, I've done historic Art Deco tours. I've done tours of Miami. I've done tours of Greater Miami. I've done tours of North Beach, Miami Beach. I mean, so many, the MIMO architecture. I knew Morris Lapidus personally. So many relationships beyond just the architecture. And so I decided to make a company of one, and Tours R Us is the name of the company, and what I do is direct tours for folks from locals or out of town who would like to have an in-depth program so that they can really learn how things happened. As I always say, when I do a tour of the Art Deco district, I started by saying Madonna did not discover the Art Deco district. For those who know, she used to have a restaurant here, and of course everyone thought, Barbara Kappenman is the person. So much in our community is been saved and highlighted by volunteers, by dedicated professionals, by gays and lesbian who could really see when this was run down and dilapidated, the future of the architectural style. So what I do is highlight for people, and I was telling Jerry a little while ago, as I'm getting back to doing tours again, I took 20 students and I took them to the ancient Spanish monastery, which most people don't even know exists, the oldest building in the Western Hemisphere, from Canada to Tierra del Fuego, is in North Miami. Incredible. It was built in 1133 and moved here by a big industrialist from California. So we have that one item that is world famous and is mind-boggling, and most people don't know about it. We have so many other wonderful, exciting things here in Miami Beach, so many cultural institutions. We have new architecture with Frank Gehry and Herzog and de Meuron and so many other people.
George, if someone wanted to book a tour with you, how do they do that?
They could just Google me, George Neary, Neary.com, and then it's just easy enough to reach me that way. Send me a note. I'll be glad to call you back and set up a tour. I'm thrilled to be able to do that. And from me, you're going to get a real, historic, all-inclusive tour where you're really going to learn about where you are and how important it is. So I'd be excited to anybody out there who wants more information, just Google me and let me know.
I think George is an institution in Miami Beach. Many of you know George. You see him out and about. He's always wearing a fantastic outfit. And we really appreciate you coming on the program today, because you are What's good, Miami Beach? And we really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been wonderful, Jerry. It's great. And Miami Beach is fabulous. And the more you know, the more fun you can have.
Thank you all for joining us. On behalf of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, we want you to keep tuned in to learn what's good, Miami Beach.